Hi, how's it going everybody? This is Craig Peters here from Soundiron, and today I'm going to be walking you through Woodentines, which is the newest addition to our Hopkin Instrumentarium series in collaboration with master instrument builder Bart Hopkin. This library is built for the free contact player and is compatible with all NKS standard hardware. So if you have a complete control keyboard, you'll get a little bit more functionality in being able to control stuff on the fly with the keyboard. So one of the really exciting things about Woodentines is that now for each layer you have a separate LFO, filter, and arpeggiator, so you can really combine different rhythms. You can have different effects. You can even control the different panning of each layer, which makes it really useful and makes it really powerful for just only having one NKI, the amount of things that you can do. So today I'm going to be showing you guys some of the effects presets that come with the library. I'm going to be going over some of the different individual NKIs and just showing you guys how cool and fun this library really is. So stick around and let's check it out. All right, so before we go ahead and start digging deeper into the UI, I want to show you some of the sounds that come with the library. A lot of these effects presets are really fun and inspiring, so I want to show you some of them and give you an idea of some of the possibilities that you have with the library. So this is an effects preset called Earth Clock, and it's mod wheel controllable. So as you raise and lower the mod wheel, you'll hear certain things start to change. So there's like these sort of counter rhythms going on. So like I was mentioning earlier, what makes this really powerful is the fact that you have different settings for each layer. So if you want to have different arpeggiator grooves, if you want to have different filters and effects, you can customize all that stuff and actually pan them as well. So you can really have a lot of interesting rhythmic stuff going on. And you can also map a lot of the stuff to the mod wheel as well, like the different layers. You can have it fade between different ones, and I'll show you how to do that as well. So with the library, you have 5 different NKIs to choose from, and the very first one is all Woodentines, which has all of the different NKIs combined. You have bamboo idiom mount, big wooden kalimba, piezo tongues, and wood cal. And all of these have their own different tones and unique qualities, and it's really interesting the stuff that you can do with this library. So I have the all Woodentines NKI loaded up. So you have the bamboo right here, and I'll just go ahead and play you a little bit of that. And then we have the big wooden kalimba. So you can see it has a little bit more of a thicker, woodier sound to it. And then we have the piezo tongues. A little bit snappier, a little bit more of a poppy sound. And when you go to the drop-down window on all of these, you'll see that there's the all and then each note. So what we did is, if you look down here, all these green notes are the actual notes, and everything else is that note stretched around it, so it makes it a little bit more playable. And then finally with the wood cal, you'll see that there's a big string of green notes which has all the different recorded notes together, so you have a big range with this one. So now let's go ahead and check out the actual wooden cal NKI, and you'll see that you have mic 1, mic 2, so you have these different tones. And these are cool if you want to layer them, if you want those different options for different micings. The ambiences, this is really cool because this is when you can start adding a lot of really atmospheric stuff behind these sounds, so you can really start to take them to a whole nother world. So it really starts to make things get interesting, and you have a lot of different choices as far as ambience as well. So let's just go ahead and play through some of these. And then with the panning, if you want, you can go ahead, let's say we want mic 1 to be panned left, and we want mic 2 to be panned right. We can do that. Go ahead and turn the ambience off so you can hear this. So that's just left. And then there's right. So where things can start to get interesting with this is if we go ahead into the advanced tab, where now you say you want to load up an arpeggiator for layer 1. So you can have that going, and that'll be playing on the left. And then we go to mic 2. Let's say we want to add this arpeggiation preset. Let's see how this sounds. We'll probably end up changing this, but let's see how it sounds. So you see, you start to have these instant, really interesting rhythms. And then let's go ahead and add the ambience and see what happens here. And it doesn't stop there, because you can start to do even more interesting things. So let's say you want to now start incorporating the mod wheel and fading between these layers. So let's say we want the ambience to start it off. So what we can do is set that to layer A. And then if we want to fade in from the ambience into the different rhythms that come from mic 1 and mic 2, we can set those to layer B. So pretty much layer A is the very bottom of the mod wheel, and layer B is the very top. So that way you can crossfade between them. And then all you have to do is right click and assign this to your mod wheel, and that's it. So you start off with your ambiences, and then you slowly start to hear these rhythms coming in. And let's say you always want a rhythm going on, but you always want to keep an ambience as well. So what you can do is you can take the ambience and set it to none, and then you can set this to layer B and mic 1 to layer A. So let's see how that sounds now. So there's a lot of things you can do with this, and if you want to get even weirder with it, you can go into the effects rack down here where you can start adding some other effects. You can start adding some delays. So let's say we want to add some delays. Let's go ahead and put the panning back to how it was. Let's just see how this sounds now. Maybe add some reverb. All right, so now let's go ahead and load up some of the other NKIs that come with the library. So now we're going to be checking out the Bamboo idiom mount. With this, you have 3 different mic choices. So let's just go ahead and load them all up and see what happens. Let's just go ahead and solo just mic 2. So mic 1 you can hear has a little bit more of a rounder, sort of darker tone. And then we add in mic 2, a little bit more of that sharper snap to it. And then let's listen to mic 3 by itself. A little bit further away, a little bit more distant. And then let's go ahead and play them all together. And then you also have the subsynth layer, and for this NKI you can see that it's not only just your normal sine wave, saws, square, and triangle. We actually included the ambiences as well. So if you want to add some ambiences in this NKI, you can do that too. So let's just pick a random one. And these are all sound designed by hand, taking sounds from the original source and just manipulating them in the usual Soundiron fashion. Go ahead and see what's going on down here. But if you want your usual sine wave stuff, you can do that too. So let's go ahead and And then if you want to adjust the pitch, you can also do that as well. You can adjust the pitch coarse and fine. So if you want to, or if you want to adjust it by sense, you can do that too. And all of these controls within the library are customizable and mappable to your mod wheel or the different CC controllers. So if you want to, adjust some stuff on the fly as you're playing, maybe you want some, different LFO or the panning. Let's say you want to map the pitch to your mod wheel. You can do that too. So with the user interface, everything is customizable, everything is mappable with the different CCs. So experiment with that and see what kind of interesting sounds you can come up with. Now let's go ahead and play with the big wooden kalimba. So you also have different articulations as well. So if you want the pluck all or if you want the stick all, they both have different sounds. So you can see the stick all has a little bit more of a snappy attack to it. And then you can combine these as well. So if let's say you want pluck all on mic 1, and then you want stick all on mic 2, you can do that so you can layer them up. And then you also have some different gliss types. You have gliss up and gliss down. And then gliss down. All right, so now let's go ahead and check out the piezo tongues. So with all of these instruments, they're all hand built by Bart Hopkin himself. So they're very taking the idea of maybe some traditional instruments and then just putting them in a way that has never been done before. All right, so now let's go ahead and check out some of the effects presets. And these are some of the most fun for me because a lot of them are very musical and set up to be ready to go. So if let's say I'm about to start writing a demo and I just want to get inspired, this is where I'll go. And it's a good place to go to sort of dig in and examine some of the effects presets to see how they're used in the way that they are. So if you want to get a better understanding of how some of the libraries are programmed or some of the things you can do, definitely check out the effects presets. And one thing to keep in mind whenever you're playing around with the effects presets is anytime you see MW, it basically means that it's mapped to the mod wheel. So you might be missing out on some really cool things if you're not playing around with it. So like as you can see for this effects preset, you start to hear some really cool LFO and filtering going on. So that's a fun one. It's called Cathedral. It sounds almost like this weird spacey organ or something. This effects preset's called Forest Whisper. So you can see this one, you put it all the way up, a little bit more simplistic, and as you bring it down, Alright, so with this next effects preset, it's appropriately named Pan Party, really taking advantage of the fact that you can pan each layer in their own way. So as you go ahead and play, you can hear, if you have good headphones on, you should be able to hear. So if you want to deconstruct this preset a little bit, you can go ahead and disable each layer and then listen to them individually. And all of these are customizable as well. So if let's say you like this preset, but maybe you want to expand on it a little bit, what you can do is you can set this to layer A, and then layer 2 to layer A, layer 3 to layer B, and layer 4 to layer B. And then let's just go ahead and map this to the mod wheel, and we'll see what happens. And if you want to just hear that on one note, And this library is very versatile in the different types of ways you can use it. So if, let's say, you're doing something maybe in a more of a horror vein, you can use some of these effects presets. This one's called Witch in the Woods. And this last effects preset I'm going to show you guys is called Yoga. So something you can use for maybe if you're doing more meditative type music or something that's very more relaxing. Yeah, you can use it for something like that. So we hope you guys have a lot of fun with this library. There's a lot more coming with this series, so definitely don't miss out. Thank you so much for watching this video, and we'll see you in the next one. Bye.